I am Rob from iTech Pickers, and welcome to Red Pill discussion number 4. Men should not get married. 10 reasons why you need to avoid marriage. So in today's modern era, men under no circumstances should get married. Well, unless of course your future wife is much richer than you are and you plan on keeping it that way. But let's just get real. But assuming she makes less or the same as you, which is the case in 95% of married couples, you simply can't do it. Here are the 10 reasons why men need to avoid marriage at all costs. Divorce and financial devastation. There's a 50% chance any given married couple getting a divorce. So basically, if you get married now, you have at least a 50% chance of getting divorced in the future. As someone else pointed out, if you were going to jump out of a plane to do some parachute jump, if you were told you had a 50% chance of your parachute not working, would you still do it? A coin flips the wrong way and you're fucked. That stat includes older generations too, where there are many older married couples, and doesn't take into account younger generations who are less conservative and where divorce rates are higher. And they'll continue to rise despite the media telling us that they're steadily declining. As a businessman, would you take a bet where there's a 50% chance of nothing happening and a 50% chance of you losing half of your assets? No, you would just walk away from that deal and not even consider it. So, just that reality alone, the fact that if you get married now, you have a 50% chance of divorcing, that should keep you from getting married. Um, it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, marriage doesn't make sense in today's world. Uh, Maybe it did make some sense like 50 years ago or like 200 years ago. Um, as because there needed to be someone to take care of the children. But in today's world, no, it doesn't make sense, especially not for men. So it doesn't make sense. So why consider getting married? If you stay married and don't get divorced, nothing happens. If you get divorced, you'll likely lose half of your net worth and will continue to pay alimony and child support if you have children. Even though we're living in a society where men and women are supposed to be equal, in front of the law, it just isn't true. We still hear about men who have a lot of assets who get divorce raped and fleeced during divorce proceedings. Um, and they get to have to pay alimony and child support, sometimes having to pay child support for children that they have no more access to because the woman is keeping them from having access to their children. So really, for that reason, it really doesn't make any sense. And we all know that the courts are heavily biased towards women. Women in today's society, they can go in court, they can say anything, they can lie, and they are supposed to be believed at face value. So uh, the court system is going to be biased against you as a man. So that's one reason. That's one more reason why you should never get married. This will totally crush you. The only men who can afford divorce are multimillionaires. Well, they have money so they can afford to lose. But again, the more money a man has, when he arrives in one of these courts, the more money he has, the more they're gonna try to get from him. The more these vulture lawyers are gonna try to get from him. So if they see that he has billions of dollars, they'll try to get billions of dollars. And if you don't believe me, look at Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world. He got fleeced by a woman not long ago, and now she's the richest woman in the world, even though she never accomplished anything except divorce raping Jeff Bezos. So this is totally unfair, but that's the way it is. So you, again, marriage doesn't make sense. And if you think about Jeff Bezos, with the money that he had, he never had to get married in the first place. He could have had adventures with extremely beautiful women, and never get married to one. You know, he could have had any woman that he wanted in the world. So I guess he should have listened to me. He should have listened to my videos before he got married. Um, what I've heard is that he got married when he was poor, when he was not successful. Uh, anyway, you'll never financially recover from a divorce unless you're young and you have little to offer when it happens. Yeah, but if you have little to offer, then you know what? The woman won't try to get a divorce. Joe the plumber doesn't get divorced. This usually isn't the case for most men. Divorce will financially devastate you, whether you're a young guy trying to build wealth or an older guy who's already started to build some. So your plans to become a wealthy man are going to be seriously affected by that divorce. If you're on the path to be a man in a world full of defeated males, don't get married. And yes, we are living in a world of defeated males. Look at the suicide rates here in the West, uh, in Canada and the United States. Look at the suicide rates in Japan and all of those successful countries. Uh, the suicide rate for men is skyrocketing because of feminism, because of the crooked justice system, because of what is being the propaganda that is being fed by the government and the fake news media every day, that women are victims and that men are evil oppressors. So it's taking a toll. So yes, we live in a world of defeated males, and don't be one of them. And sure, don't get married in that kind of world. Emotional devastation from divorce. Not only is the financial devastation, but you'll be emotionally devastated as well. Imagine the woman you loved taking all of your assets, getting fucked from behind by other men in the house you're making payments on. So not only that will leave you a victim to be financially fleeced, at the same time you will know that this woman that is now fleecing you, she's getting fucked by other guys while she's doing it. She's riding the CC while you're there trying to make something out of your life, and she's using the court system to get money from you. So that it's totally unfair. But it's happening because you made the mistake of getting married. And she imagine that she's with a guy in the bed you bought because she liked how comfortable it was. You paid for the bed, and now you know that she's getting fucked in that bed by some other guy that she just met. Yes, that's tough on your wallet, but that's even tougher emotionally to take. Even if you don't find out about your ex-wife fucking the town, you're going to be heartbroken from the divorce, especially if you two were together for a long time. Getting over a breakup can be brutal, but divorce is another story. You have to deal with the emotional turmoil of a likely long relationship. You thought she was the one, and there are years of your life you won't get back now. And it's been proven that when a woman breaks up or goes for a divorce, usually she's been planning this for a long time before she's actually doing it. So she's divorcing you now. She probably decided to divorce you like a year before, and she planned her escape route. She found another man. She found ways to get the best out of the situation, and now she's telling you, "I'm getting divorced," but she had planned this. So this is why men feel cheated when these situations happen because they're it's like a bombshell just like this. And she's made plans to get a replacement. She's made plans to win the divorce proceedings. She probably already has a lawyer, and you're left and you have nothing planned. So emotionally, it's really bad. Even though it's for the good, I think. But you know, if you know you're gonna get divorced a few years down the road, why get married in the first place? If all you have is a relationship, then you can break up the relationship, and that's all. You have less freedom. A married man has less freedom. You won't be able to go out with the boys you like you used to. You can't do what you want when you want. Tie down, two words that describe the rest of your life if you happen to stay married, that is. Even if you have a lot of your freedom at first, that will slowly and surely erode. Getting married is like a relationship, but with the threat of taking half your shit instead of just a broken heart. Which means your balls are as good as gone, and freedom is only something you dream about. Think about if you like to travel, if you have plans to travel, you won't be able to do that anymore. If you get married, do you really think your wife is gonna let you go to Thailand 3 months during the year, or you know, she knows that you're gonna have fun on her, and she's not gonna let you do that. So the fun is pretty much over. Uh, or she might allow you to travel. She'll want you to take her along with you, which means that your travels are gonna cost you twice what they cost you now because you're gonna have to pay for two people. And imagine going to Pattaya for 2 months and having to bring your wife down there with you. I mean, it doesn't make sense at all. So you're screwed. You lose your freedom. She might not like your friends. So now you're gonna have to tell your friends, well, I'd like to invite you, but my wife doesn't like you. So there's a lot of stuff you won't be able to do, and most likely you'll be tied down, having to work all the time to pay for that marriage and for all that shit and for all her shit. So really doesn't make sense at all. False security. Getting married is going to give you and your wife false security. False security that you are each other's forever. I mean, if you weren't each other's forever when you simply had a relationship, why would it be different now that you got married? You know, uh, the marriage is not gonna force somebody else to love you. If she doesn't love you, she's not gonna love you more because you're married. So I see there's no advantage to getting married. This will lead to letting yourselves go and a lack of motivation to keep the relationship alive. The false security is a lie. You won't be each other's forever. Eventually, you'll get divorced, or one of you will die. A marriage can't last forever because people don't live forever. The false security that because you're married, you're all good or can't take it easy or wrong. Life is now on hard mode for you. So, yeah, there's no advantage for a man to get married in today's world. Um, and of course, I can see that for women, there's a lot of advantages. You know, uh, if you die, she's gonna get your stuff. If you're still married, you die, she's gonna get all of your stuff. So obviously, it's good for her, but it's not good for you. And since it's scientifically proven that women date up, they don't date down. So a woman will always try to date a man who has more money than her. Women don't usually date men who have less money than them. Okay, so it's a win for her and it's a loss for you in the majority of cases. One vagina for the rest of your life. Signing the dotted line means there's a 50% chance of losing half your shit, or 50% chance you get one vagina for the rest of your life. The same one, forever. As men, we have instincts to go out there and spread our seed. Getting married means we're sacrificing this natural desire to make the marriage work. No more going out and sleeping with beautiful women. Now, I'm not saying you should get married and cheat on your wife or have an open relationship. Cheating will make you paranoid, and open relationships are stupid as fuck. That means she's fucking the town while you're while you're dealing with her bullshit. Keep in mind that if things work out, you're signing up for fucking no more new girls. And of course, we all know that it's in a man's nature to want to have sex with as many females as possible. While women are they're monogamous. So a monogamous relationship is benefiting the woman because it's in her nature, while the man, it's not in his nature to have sex with the same woman for the rest of his life. So there's the benefit for that for the woman. Of course, women it's in their nature to seek the highest value males. But if she wants to get married with you, it's because she has already figured out that you're a high value male. So she's got what she wants, but you're sacrificing your needs as a man when you get married, because now you're not gonna be able to see other women, and she's gonna get the high value male that she needs. So it's a loss for the man. It's a win for her. Am I against monogamy? Believe it or not, I'm not. Committed relationships can be great, but when you get married, you lose the ability to walk away like you did before, which means your woman can get the upper hand in the relationship much easier. It's still possible to maintain your leadership and be the man in your marriage, but it's much harder to do than if you avoided marriage. And yes, once you get married, you lose the ability to walk away, which is very important for women. If a woman knows that she has you, uh, it's not gonna take very long before she figures out that she can jerk you around and you'll still be there. So you're losing a very big ability as a man when you get married. You can't walk away anymore, and she's gonna sense it, and she's probably gonna take advantage of that. You're gonna have less sex, one vagina, but at least more consistent sex, right? Well, maybe at first, but once that honeymoon phase wears off, you're in for a real surprise. What's this surprise, you might ask? That's less sex once you're married. Married couples tend to have less sex once they're a few years into their marriage. You'll likely have kids, which will tire you out, and between work, will have little energy to get it on. Those who do are able to keep the chemistry alive. Most men in marriages aren't in great shape, or don't stay in as good in shape as when they were single due to false security. Well, all of this factored in with the familiarity of living with your wife will lead to less sex. There are exceptions to this, but for the most part it holds true. It's difficult to keep the flair when responsibilities start to add up. It's possible to do, but you have to make time to lift weights and stay in your masculinity. Again, this is true for both men and women. When they have the false security of the marriage, they tend to stop working on themselves, and they get in bad shape. The woman, she will become very fat, usually. The man will become out of shape. So it's not going to help for the sex. And of course, we men, we like to have sex with as many different women as possible. It's in our nature. So having sex with the same woman over and over again, uh, we lose a lot of desire. So marriage means less sex in the long run. Cheating. Estimates vary, but around 30 to 60% of all married people in the US cheat during their marriage. And it's likely on the higher side, especially with the way things are heading with younger generations of women having more sex partners before marriage. And the fact that women like to fib about their sexual endeavors, even on surveys. Likely half of all marriages include cheating. This means that there's a good chance you or your wife will be fucking behind each other's back. That's no way to live. If it's you, you'll feel like shit because if your conscience or because you're worried that you'll get caught and get divorce raped. If she cheats, the divorce is likely anyways. Plus, that means she's taking dick from someone else while you have to deal with all of the other shit that comes with getting married. So, that says it all. The costs for a wedding and ring. Marriage is expensive as fuck. Whatever you save in tax benefits is little compared to the cost for most weddings and rings. The average cost for a wedding in the US is over $30,000. Imagine what you could do with $30,000 if you invested it for your future instead of paying for a marriage. You could actually become a millionaire with that money if it's well invested for a long time. And if you live in a city, you can expect that to be $50,000 to $80,000. And the rings alone average almost $6,000 for an engagement ring, and even more for the wedding bands. So you'll spend $42,000 on average, and more if you live in a city or make a good living. Then your girl will expect the fancy treatment. And what's funny is that if you look at the price that people pay for wedding rings, and you meet those people like a couple of years down the road, and they're getting divorced, and they're trying to resell those rings on the internet, and they they end up getting scrap value for it, which is not even 10% of what the price that they paid. So it's another way you're getting fleeced with marriage. I know guys who made six figures to drop $50,000 on a wedding. They save it for a few years, then some solid backup cash, and then blow it on a wedding. Imagine you save $50,000. Again, if you save that money, you invest it wisely for your future. You can become a millionaire with that money. And once you're a millionaire, you can have an unlimited amount of girls. Uh, when you're rich, you have a you have girls. Girls will come up to you uh, all the time. So that it's really a waste to blow $50,000 on a wedding. Um, it's pathetic. Almost free from the grind, and now they're paycheck to paycheck. Getting married will drive most men into debt. As a man trying to rise up, you'll need to spend less money. Not spend more money on things that will give you no return on your investment. So it's probably the most stupid investment ever to pay for a wedding, because the return on the investment usually is zero, or a negative return. If you get divorce raped and have to pay alimony and child support. A coin's flip chance of losing your kids. I don't have kids, so I can't imagine the pain I see older men who have them get taken away. But it looks like it's a terrible experience and something I don't need to have happen firsthand to know it's bad. Paying child support to a woman who's likely to spend a lot of that money not on your flesh and blood is difficult. It will be up to the courts if you'll get to see your kids if you get divorced. Because when you get divorced, not only the courts, the lawyers, the judges, they'll try to get money from you, but they also get to say if you get to keep your kids or not. They can also steal your kids. Think about that. It's very sad, but that's the way the court system is today, and it's heavily biased to please women and to destroy men. But it's at the total mercy of your ex-wife in the courts. I wouldn't want to leave time spent with my kids at the discretion of an ex-wife and the judge. If you look at all the bad decisions that judges take, just look at the newspapers. Sometimes they release murderers into society, and these murderers kill again. I mean, these people, they're usually the people with the less judgment in society are the judges. And now you want to give them the chance to decide on what's going to happen to your kids? Really? Earn your chances for greatness. There's few men who can achieve greatness while being married, especially in today's world where you'll have to work harder to live a middle-class life than ever before. Men in the past could engage in getting married to a woman and still achieve greatness. They could follow their purpose 50, 100 hours a week and not have to worry about home duties. But that's not our marriages today. You and your wife will each have to work 50 to 80 hours a week if you have normal jobs and want to be able to support your family. Very few men can achieve greatness like that. You need to work more, not less, in order to achieve greatness. The ones who do reach high levels of greatness get married after they achieve great things or have a more traditional structure to their relationship. Don't get married, it's not an option. Marriage is simply not an option. I know many of you have a Disney fantasy of finding the perfect girlfriend and getting married to her. While there's nothing wrong with wanting a female companion, you can't go any farther than having a girlfriend. Getting legally married is simply too risky for men nowadays. Want to have kids? You can do that without getting married. It's been happening ever since sex was invented. Want the tax benefits? Who actually gets married just for this? The cost of the wedding and ring will outweigh this unless you're rich. And in that case, you'll probably spend way more on those things. You want the companionship? You can have a girlfriend without getting married. If she gives you an ultimatum, then you can dump her and get another one. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a girlfriend. I'm saying you shouldn't get married, you know. You can have everything favorable to you as a man in a normal girlfriend-boyfriend relationship without getting married. There is no advantage for a man to get married. The bottom line is, even if things go sour and you have to pay child support, that can be worth it if you want kids. Yes, child support can be expensive. You know what's more expensive than child support? Child support plus alimony plus half of your net worth at the time of divorce. The risks are simply too high to get married. It's a legal contract that binds you into a relationship. Marriage is a contract, basically. And why would you want to sign a contract where you are a complete loser and the other party is a complete winner? Would you sign a financial contract with these clauses? No. So why are you ready to sign a contract giving your life to be a loser, and the woman you're marrying, she's going to be a winner in that? So it doesn't make sense to sign a contract where you're going to be losing, you know. So don't sign that contract. It gives her the security of leeching from you if you or her, likely her, decides to end it. Most women are the ones who initiate divorce. If the threat of divorce wasn't so big and the consequences weren't so great, then maybe you could do it. But that's not the current state of affairs. If you're a man who's trying to be successful in life, you can't get married, period. You'll hurt your chances of building wealth. Don't sign a contract that can fuck you over when the reward is little to none. Instead, focus on your purpose and try to get rich. Live life on your own terms. If you want to have kids and a long time girlfriend, that's up to you, but don't sign the contract. So this was Red Pill discussion number 4. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. And I'll see you soon.